Has someone you love started showing small but worrying changes over the past year? Many people assume that death in old age happens suddenly. But the truth is the body often sends quiet warnings months, sometimes even a year, before life reaches its final stage. The problem is that most people miss these signs because they seem minor at first. It's only later, looking back, that families realize the clues were there all along. But by then, it's too late to prepare, too late to make those last memories count. In this video, we're going to talk about 5 key signs that often appear a year before an elderly person passes away. Some of them might be things you've noticed but brushed off as just aging. Others might be changes that seem small but actually show the body's gradual decline. Recognizing these signs early gives you the chance to provide better care, cherish meaningful moments, and, most importantly, ensure that your loved one's final stage of life is filled with comfort, dignity, and peace. Stay with us until the end because these 5 signs can help you prepare emotionally and practically for what's ahead. When you understand what's happening, you won't be caught off guard. You'll be able to make the most of the time you have left with those you love. Now let's get started. Number 1. Significant weight loss. One of the earliest and most telling signs that a person may be approaching their final year of life is unintentional weight loss. At first, it might seem small, a belt that suddenly needs tightening, clothes that appear looser, or a once strong appetite that starts to fade. Many families dismiss it as just part of getting older. But the truth is, losing weight without trying is rarely a good sign. It often means the body is no longer absorbing nutrients properly. Muscle mass is shrinking, and important systems are slowing down. Aging naturally causes some muscle loss. But when it happens too quickly, it's a sign that something deeper is going on. The body may be struggling to digest food or may not be able to process protein as well, leading to muscle weakness. This loss of strength doesn't just make movement harder, it increases the risk of falls, weakens the immune system, and makes the person more likely to get infections. Another reason for weight loss in the final year of life is a change in appetite. Many elderly people simply don't feel hungry like they used to. Their sense of taste fades. Food no longer seems enjoyable, and they might start skipping meals or eating much smaller portions. This isn't just a matter of preference, it's a natural change. The body, sensing that it's slowing down, no longer signals the brain to seek food as often. The result? Less energy, less strength, and a slow decline in overall health. Underlying medical conditions also play a role. Weight loss is a common symptom of chronic diseases like cancer, heart failure, or kidney disease, illnesses that can develop long before more obvious symptoms appear. Even conditions like depression or memory loss can lead to eating less, causing a downward spiral where the body isn't getting enough fuel to sustain itself. Some families try to fix the problem by encouraging their loved one to eat more, offering favorite foods, or adding protein drinks to meals. But if the weight keeps dropping despite these efforts, it's important to understand that the issue isn't just diet, it's the body preparing for a bigger transition. At this stage, forcing large meals may not help. Instead, focusing on comfort, easy-to-eat foods, and hydration can make a bigger difference in maintaining quality of life. If you notice significant weight loss in an elderly loved one, especially if they're eating less, feeling weaker, or struggling to stay active, it's time to pay attention. This isn't just about physical appearance, it's about the body sending a message. Understanding that message now can help you prepare for the road ahead with clarity, kindness, and the ability to make every remaining moment count. Number 2, extreme fatigue and weakness. One of the biggest changes in the year leading up to the end of life is deep, lasting tiredness that doesn't go away with rest. This isn't just feeling a little sleepy after a long day, it's an overwhelming exhaustion that makes even simple tasks feel impossible. Getting out of bed becomes difficult. Walking across the room takes effort. And daily activities like cooking, getting dressed, or even having a conversation start to feel too tiring. This isn't just normal aging, it's a sign that the body is saving its remaining energy. As organs start to slow down, the body begins to prioritize what's most essential. The heart doesn't pump as strongly, circulation weakens, and muscles don't get as much oxygen as they used to. This is why many elderly people in their final months feel weak, unsteady, and unable to keep up with their usual routines. Another key factor is a slowdown in metabolism. The body is built to produce and use energy, but as it prepares for its final stage, that energy is redirected. Instead of fueling movement, the body shifts toward preservation. This is why someone in decline may start sleeping more, needing longer naps during the day, and finding it harder to stay awake for long periods. Some may even experience sudden drops in energy, fine one moment, completely drained the next. But perhaps the hardest part of this process is the emotional toll. Many seniors who once took pride in their independence begin feeling frustrated or even embarrassed that they can't do what they used to. They may pull away from conversations, avoid social events, or stop doing hobbies, not because they don't care, but because they simply don't have the energy. This can lead to a cycle of isolation where they stop trying altogether, which only speeds up the decline. For families watching a loved one go from active and involved to tired and withdrawn, it can be heartbreaking. It's easy to assume they're just being lazy or that they need to push through it. But the truth is, forcing activity won't help. What matters most is understanding their limits, letting them rest when needed, and making their remaining days as comfortable as possible. If you notice a loved one experiencing deep, ongoing tiredness that doesn't go away with rest, take it as a sign that their body is going through a major change. This is the time to treasure conversations, create moments of peace, and support them without expecting too much. Because in the end, what matters most isn't how much they can do, it's that they feel loved, understood, and at peace. If you're still watching this video and finding these insights helpful, please comment number 2 below to let me know you're here. And if you haven't subscribed yet, I encourage you to subscribe and turn on the bell so you won't miss any videos. Your support helps us continue creating quality content to inform and inspire you. Now let's move forward. Number 3, increased confusion or withdrawal. As a person reaches the final stage of life, one of the most noticeable changes is in how they think, talk, and interact with others. You may see that someone who was once sharp and engaged now forgets things more often, struggles to follow conversations, or seems lost in familiar places. They might repeat themselves, forget names, or lose track of time, even if they never had memory problems before. These small mental changes can begin months or even a year before death. This isn't just normal forgetfulness. The brain, like any other organ, needs a steady supply of oxygen and nutrients to work properly. But as blood flow slows and oxygen levels drop, brain function begins to weaken. The person may become easily confused, struggle to make decisions, or have trouble recognizing people and places they've known for years. In some cases, they might have brief moments of clarity followed by sudden episodes of confusion, almost as if their mind is fading in and out. Another common sign is emotional withdrawal. Someone nearing the end of life often loses interest in socializing. You may notice them talking less, engaging less, or spending long periods just sitting in silence. It's not that they don't care about their loved ones, it's that their brain no longer processes emotions and interactions the same way. Conversations become exhausting. Loud environments feel overwhelming, and many seniors eventually retreat into their own world. You may also notice mood and behavior changes. Some people become more irritated, anxious, or easily frustrated. Others seem unusually calm, detached, or uninterested in things they once cared about. This isn't just a personality change, it's often the brain adjusting as the body declines. As mental function slows, emotions become harder to express, and the person may stop reacting the way they used to. For family members, This stage can be especially painful. Watching a loved one lose touch with reality or withdraw emotionally can feel like losing them before they're actually gone. But it's important to remember that this isn't something they can control. Instead of trying to bring them back into conversations, the best thing you can do is meet them where they are. Speak gently, offer comfort, and understand that even if they don't always respond, they can still feel your presence. If a loved one is becoming more forgetful, more confused, or less engaged, don't ignore it. These are often early signs that the body and mind are preparing for the final transition. This is the time to be patient, cherish quiet moments, and focus on making their surroundings feel safe, familiar, and peaceful. Because even when words fade, love and comfort can still be felt. Let's move on. Number 4, frequent infections and slow healings. As the body starts to shut down, one of the clearest physical signs is a weaker immune system. You may notice that someone who rarely got sick before now catches every cold, flu, or small infection that goes around. What used to be minor illnesses now takes much longer to recover from. And even small wounds, like a cut or bruise, heal much slower than before. These changes aren't random. They're signs that the body can no longer protect or repair itself the way it once did. One of the biggest concerns is repeated infections. Pneumonia, urinary tract infections, UTIs, skin infections, and even oral infections become more common as the immune system weakens. Many families think these are just isolated illnesses. But when they happen often or take longer to heal, it's usually a sign that the body is losing its ability to fight back. Even antibiotics, which used to work quickly, may seem less effective. The person may need stronger medications, longer recovery times, or multiple rounds of treatment for infections that were once minor. This happens because, as blood flow slows and organs weaken, the body simply doesn't respond to treatment as well as before. Another overlooked issue is chronic wounds. If you notice that small scratches, sores, or bruises aren't healing well or keep reopening, it could mean that blood circulation is compromised. Poor circulation means oxygen and nutrients aren't reaching the skin and tissues properly, making healing much slower than normal. Bed sores, especially for those who move less, become a serious risk and can lead to dangerous infections if not carefully managed. What's even more concerning is that infections in the final year of life often don't look the way we expect. Instead of a high fever, an elderly person may simply seem more tired than usual, more confused, or less interested in eating. In fact, for seniors, a sudden decline in mental awareness is often the first warning sign of an infection, even before other symptoms appear. Recognizing these changes early can make a big difference in how much comfort and care a person gets in their final stage of life. For families, watching a loved one go through repeated infections can be both frustrating and heartbreaking. It's tempting to push for strong treatments, hoping that one more round of antibiotics or another hospital stay will solve the problem. But at a certain point, the focus often shifts from curing to comforting. Making sure they stay hydrated, keeping their skin clean and moisturized, and reducing stress on the body can do more for their well-being than another round of medicine that only adds to their suffering. If you're still watching this video and finding these insights helpful, please comment number 4 below to let me know you're here. And if you haven't subscribed yet, I recommend doing so and turning on the bell icon so you don't miss any videos. Your support helps us keep creating good content to inform and inspire you. Now let's move forward. Number 5, major changes in breathing or circulation. One of the clearest signs that the body is reaching its final stage is a noticeable change in breathing patterns and circulation. You may notice that your loved one breathes more slowly or shallowly than before. Sometimes they might pause between breaths, or their breathing might become irregular, speeding up and then slowing down unexpectedly. Some people experience a breathing pattern called Cheyne-Stokes respiration, where deep, quick breaths alternate with long pauses. These changes may start subtly, but over time they become more noticeable and happen more often. Another common sign is weaker circulation. You may notice that their hands, feet, or even their nose and ears feel cold to the touch. Their skin may look pale, bluish, or have a mottled appearance, especially around the fingers and toes. This happens because the body is focusing on sending blood to vital organs and reducing circulation to the arms and legs. It's a clear sign that the heart is not pumping as strongly as before. Some people also experience more shortness of breath, even with small movements. Simply sitting up, talking, or changing positions might make them feel out of breath. You may notice them breathing through their mouth more often, or they may suddenly need to pause and catch their breath while speaking. If they were once able to walk across the room easily but now struggle, their lung function may be getting weaker. In some cases, fluid buildup in the lungs can make breathing harder. This may cause a constant cough, gurgling sounds, or a feeling of tightness in the chest. Many people assume it's just congestion from a cold, but in elderly individuals nearing the end of life, it's often a sign that the lungs are failing. Lying flat may feel uncomfortable, and they may prefer to sleep propped up on pillows or in a recliner to breathe more easily. For family members, seeing these changes can be scary. It's natural to want to help, to encourage them to take deeper breaths, or to worry that something serious is happening. But in many cases, this is just the body's way of slowing down. There may not always be a way to stop these changes, but there are ways to make them more comfortable. Keeping the room cool, using a humidifier, or offering small sips of water can help ease discomfort. In some cases, medications or oxygen therapy can provide relief, but the main goal shifts to comfort rather than trying to fix the problem. If you notice these signs, changes in breathing, cold hands and feet, or a bluish tint to the skin, pay attention. These are often signs that the body is saving energy and circulation is slowing down. This is a time to be present, offer reassurance, and create a peaceful environment where they feel safe and cared for. Final thoughts. As we come to the end of this video, take a moment to reflect on what we've discussed: significant weight loss, extreme tiredness, memory problems, frequent infections, and major changes in breathing and circulation. These 5 signs often appear in the year before an elderly person passes away. They may not all happen at once, and they may not always be easy to notice at first. But when you start seeing them, it's a sign that the body is preparing for its final stage. For many families, these changes can be hard to accept. It's natural to want to fight against them, to encourage a loved one to eat more, move more, or push through exhaustion. But sometimes, the best thing we can do is listen to what their body is telling us. Instead of trying to stop the inevitable, we can focus on making their remaining time as peaceful, comfortable, and meaningful as possible. Understanding these signs isn't about being afraid of death. It's about being prepared for it. When you recognize these changes early, you can give better care, make important choices ahead of time, and make sure your loved one's final months are filled with love and dignity. This is a time to cherish moments, share memories, and remind them they're loved and not alone. If you're noticing these signs in someone close to you, take a deep breath and remember, you're not alone in this journey. Many families have gone through this, and while it's never easy, knowing what to expect can help you find strength, patience, and peace. Thank you for joining us today. We'd love to hear from you. Leave a comment below and share something you learned today and how you plan to use it in your life. Your thoughts matter to us, so don't hesitate to share them. Reading your comments gives us motivation and encouragement. If you found this video helpful, please like, subscribe, and share. Your support helps us continue creating valuable content to inform and inspire you. Thanks for watching, and we look forward to seeing you in the next video.